Good day, my name is Annelie and I'm from Radical Consultancy, and today we are taking radical conversations out from the living room and we're bringing it into nature next to the river. And here with me today I have Jan from JHS Consulting and Development. Jan, thank you so much for spending your time with me today.
Good day, Annelie, and thank you very much. It's always a pleasure working with you, and thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you. Jan is, as I said, from JHS Consulting and Development and works in a quite interesting field and environment. Please tell our viewers what it is that you do, Jan.
Okay, we at JHS Consulting and Development specialize in geotechnical investigations, dolomite stability investigations, and various hydrological services along with the infrastructure development associated with it.
Yes, that's quite big words. Geotechnical, hydrological. Jan, please tell us a little bit about JHS. Where did it come from? How long have you been in the industry?
Okay, so JHS Consulting and Development was founded almost 3 years ago, as I've always wanted to do my own thing, and unfortunately, since this is a very highly specialized industry, first it was necessary to gain all the experience required and everything. So first it was university, then I worked for several years, so started my career in the civil engineering laboratory.
Yes.
After which I went back to university where I did my honors degree in hydrology and geohydrology.
Wow. Okay.
And then I worked several years for consultants again, gaining all the necessary experience, and then almost 3 years ago the opportunity presented itself for me to finally start my own company, which is what I did.
Fantastic. 3 years and you're not looking back, eh? Because now you have the opportunity to do whatever it is you pleases. Because you love water. I've gathered from the time that I've known you, you love water, you love geotechnical. So basically the world is your playground, or the nature is your playground.
Yeah, no, definitely. Because like with almost anything, you have your admin part, your report writing, there's times in the office, but the majority of my time is spent outside, which for me is wonderful.
Oh wow, I can just imagine. I mean, you are so privileged. Wow. Jan, please tell us a little bit about geological consultation. Why is it necessary to contact you? Why would somebody, a company, a construction company, why would they consult with yourself?
Well, during any construction project, it is required to first do a geotechnical investigation.
Right.
Each and every soil type has its own adverse conditions and challenges for developing on that specific soil type, and precautionary measures that need to be taken. So firstly, a geotechnical investigation needs to be conducted. This is also a requirement for the NHBRC, yes, and also it is done in accordance with Greenfields 2 and Sons. Each one of those guys has a certain
regulation,
yes,
and specification.
Yes, and everything needs to adhere to that. So we ensure that we do the geotechnical investigation and everything is done according to standard, ensuring that the correct foundation is used and there's no danger to the structures being built or human life.
As we saw earlier this year with that big incident that happened in George, isn't it?
Yes, that was a very thing that happened, but it also shows the importance of why a geotechnical investigation has to be conducted.
And is so important, yes.
Yeah.
So basically you tell the developer or the construction company that this is your findings from your investigation on the soil, and that you would recommend them having a specific sort of foundation being laid down.
Yes, absolutely. So after the investigation has been conducted and the soil sample sent into the lab for testing, then we go and we write a geotechnical report which meets all the requirements, and then one of our final chapters in the report is foundation recommendations, where we give the engineer and the architect certain designs or actually foundation types which will be suitable to that adverse soil conditions for them to use during their design process.
That is very important, but can a developer or a builder continue with building without this investigation being done?
No, not at all. There's several instances recently where I actually had people contacting me telling me they need a geotechnical investigation because the NHBRC has stopped them. They said you will not build a single brick until you have a geotechnical investigation.
Right.
You will not lay another brick.
So for all the builders, contractors out there, if you need geotechnical investigations being done properly and efficiently, then JHS Consulting and Development is your first contact to make. Jan, but your service doesn't stop at geotechnical investigations. You also have two other very important fields that you specialize in. Please tell our viewers a little bit more about that.
Okay, so the two other fields that we also specialize in is dolomite stability investigations. Dolomite and the sinkholes associated with it throughout the world poses a significant risk to both human life, structural integrity of buildings, and it is very important to know and understand how stable the soil is where you are going to develop. And because of this, it's one of the lesser known fields, but it's one of the most important fields of geotechnical investigations is the dolomite stability, to ensure that you know whether a sinkhole is going to form and how big it is going to be, how to rehabilitate it if necessary and if it is possible. Otherwise, how can you mitigate any risks that can be associated with the stability of that dolomitic land.
And you can kind of predict that from the depth of the ground, right? So you go into the ground, you do research into the ground with all your fancy technology to see the in-depth surface, right?
Yes, so dolomite stability investigations, the first step in the process is we use microgravity. So it makes a density map of the subsurface, which gives a very good indication of where more dense and less dense areas are located, and based on this we determine where the best positions will be to do the drilling work during the investigation. And we investigate up to a depth of 60 meters, which is the standard and minimum requirements. So up to 60 meters or 6 meter hard foundation, whichever comes first.
Right.
So it's it's one of those very interesting. It's actually part of the industry that I enjoy the most, because it's not close to the surface. You see what's going on way deeper, and it also shows from how deep a sinkhole can actually start to form, and the impact that it can have from very, very deep underground.
Please, if you go for this testing and investigations again, please call me. I would love to go with and see how you operate and how the technology works, as Jan uses the most advanced and newest technology that is to stay on float with the best information possible to give to your clients.
Yes.
And then your third field of expertise, so we've talked about dolomite, we've talked about geotechnical investigations, and then we move to water.
Yes, so that was the last part in my as during my whole process from university. That was the last section that I studied, was hydrology and geohydrology. Sorry, my tongue didn't work with me there. It can be a bit of a tongue twister, that one. But so that was the final part of the process, and it's very interesting because South Africa is a water scarce country.
Right,
and
didn't know that.
And at the end of the day, water and the sustainable use of it is becoming more and more crucial each and every day. More and more people are starting to abstract water from the subsurface, but if it's not used sustainable, then it creates a very, very big problem. And anything that isn't used sustainably, at the end of the day, is going to get depleted, and then nobody has any benefits from it.
Okay, so you can then go out and advise clients on the correct way of using water, how to store water. Please explain to me a little bit more.
Yes, so most people go and they say, okay, because I want to drill a borehole.
Yes.
But what they don't do is do yield testing on the borehole.
Right.
Which is crucial to know what a sustainable yield is that borehole can deliver. Because it might be 1 liter per second for 2 hours, or it might be 5 liters per second for 12 hours. Those testing needs to be done in order to determine what is a sustainable use, to give enough time for that borehole to recharge again, as to not deplete the groundwater resources.
Wow, okay, yes. I actually didn't even think about that. You know, you in common terms, when you say you have a borehole, you just assume, you know, that it's fantastic and that your borehole is successful and it gives, you know, efficient water. But what you're telling me is that you can have a borehole, but it could not deliver as you would have wanted.
Yes, it is.
So you do the yielding to estimate what the borehole can deliver.
Yes, what it can deliver sustainably.
Right.
Because anything that isn't done sustainably causes problems at the end of the day. It pulls down the groundwater levels, and the area which it influences becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. So eventually it's not just going to be that one specific borehole that might not have water anymore, but it will start affecting the people around you as well.
I hear you. I hear you. Sure, that is all very interesting information, and I think Jan needs to teach me a little bit more about this tongue-tied words that he's using. But it's very, very interesting, and I can imagine that different people out there would need to make use of your service. And firstly, I think about contractors, developers, real estate, you know, that type of industry. And then secondly, definite agriculture for water, residential, yes. And then for dolomite sapability, that is industry, that is town developers, right?
Not just town developers. Yes, any contractor that is developing,
building a road,
a water pipeline, a house, anything that happens on dolomitic land needs a stability investigation done first. So it doesn't matter what it is, if it's a house, a reservoir, a pipeline, a road, if it's on dolomitic land, you need to conduct dolomite stability investigations first.
So don't get yourself caught in a predicament. Call Jan from JHS Consulting and Development to give you the right advice, to deliver the right to do the right investigation and to deliver efficient reporting. Jan, thank you very much for our conversations. I think we have to have another session to go much deeper into every topic, because there's so much to say.
Yeah, no, definitely. And thank you, Annelie. I really appreciate the opportunity, and it's always a pleasure working with you and talking. Thank you. And then I look forward to the next interview as well.
I'll have to do some research in the meantime. Thank you for your time, and thank you for watching Radical Conversations. Goodbye.